How did Carthage fall? Hi, my name is Joel Mark Karras and I'm the author to The Ivory General, and in this video I'm going to explain very briefly the events that led up to the fall of Carthage. Like any historical event, there wasn't just a couple of factors that led up to the fall of Carthage. It was a long line of things that happened. Primarily, there's three wars between Carthage and Rome. We've talked about the first and second Punic Wars in this channel before. So just briefly, obviously, each war basically weakened Carthage more so than the last. I would say that Carthaginians were the strongest. They had a huge navy during the start of the first Punic War. Carthaginians then had to sign a peace treaty with Romans, which basically weakened and limited their power. Hannibal came along. He raised a mercenary army and basically he marched into Rome. It looked for a time that he was going to be victorious over the Romans, but the Romans, being the incredible power, they managed to fight back Hannibal and fight back against the Carthaginians. And basically, again, the Carthaginians were forced to sign a peace treaty, which basically said that Carthage was not able to start any war without written consent of the Romans. And of course, this is obviously, very problematic. And the Numidians, which was a group of people that were basically neighbors of Carthage, they took advantage of this and they started to attack Carthage territory. Carthaginians wanted to make war against the Numidians, but Rome repeatedly said no, that they had to submit to Numidian will, until finally the Carthaginians basically were fed up. They basically just attacked the Numidians without the Romans' consent. This angered the Romans, but really it was just an excuse for the Romans to go and invade Carthage. By this time, the Romans had built up a lot of power and they had a huge navy, and they're able to easily overwhelm very weakened Carthaginian state. They lay siege to the city, they destroyed it, they burnt it to the ground, and that was basically the end of Carthage. Now, Romans, they actually settled there later on and they rebuilt Carthage under what is known as Roman Carthage, but it was a city that was under Roman control, and it was not the Carthaginian Empire that was well known in the ancient times. Now, lastly, I want to give you this sort of, opinion, is that the reasons that Carthaginians weren't successful and the Romans were is because both sides, they had heavy losses against each other. They fought large battles, and sometimes the Carthaginians won, sometimes the Romans. There's a heavy loss of life on both sides. But due to the Roman Republic and their reliance on Italian troops, they were able to keep raising more and more men, where the Carthaginians, they relied on mercenaries and they only had a small city-state, so they could not replenish their men as fast as the Romans could. That was really the Roman superpower, was like an army was completely decimated and destroyed. They were still able to raise more through the Italians, through their allies. They were able to raise more money and a bigger army and fight longer periods and basically just outlast the Carthaginians, and that's what really led to their downfall. So there you go. That's how Carthaginians eventually fell. They were eventually destroyed. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe for more content about this, and check out my book, The Ivory General, when it is released.